welcome to episode 180.
Fix your attitude already. Fix your attitude already. What was that?
I'm good. 180 of the Compound Podcast, brought to you by Parse Rum. I love Parse. You love Parse. Go to Benny's. Go to your local liquor store. Ask about Parse. That weather. It's that weather. It's that time of year. It's a good time for Parse.
Great time. No better time for it, some may say.
I heard that Zack was watching the Jets game and he was taking shots of Parse to keep the Jets alive.
Tell you what, my next door neighbors might think that I had a few bottles. They must think I planted a few trees out there.
Because every time you have a bottle of Parse, you plant a tree and you help the environment. We're not going to get into football because I saw Tom and he punched a hole right through the wall. As soon as I said Jets, he punched a hole in the wall.
I could talk football for hours.
We got a lot of baseball. We got a lot of playoff baseball. We're in the championship series in both leagues. The division series, we had the Rangers sweep the O's, and then the D-backs swept the Dodgers. Would you guys like to comment on either of those series, the two sweeps, before we get into the other ones?
The D-backs just, I mean, honestly, both series, trying to think back to any of the Rangers games. I mean, the D-back series was not a single game was in question. Like, I feel like the D-backs, like,
game two was a close game.
Game two was like a good game. It was a good game, but like, I think the D-backs had the lead like the whole game. Like, I think it became, yeah, like it became closer, but I don't know if the Dodgers led. I could be very wrong on that. I don't know if they led the whole series. I feel like
it couldn't have, because they went down like 7-0.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like the D-backs just handled them. It was crazy.
I just hate the the thing of like, oh, well, they had too much time off. I saw like there was stats throughout the year, or it was like after the All-Star break. So you get 4 days off. I forgot. I'm pretty sure it was the Dodgers. Like half of their team's OPS pluses for the next 4 games after that was like 150. And it's like, come on. And Strider came out and said,
yeah,
he's like,
that's what I was going to say.
Strider was awesome.
I loved it.
He was like, listen, like, if that's what you're looking for your answer, like, that's the root of the problem. Like, look yourself in the mirror and say, what can we do to get better? And, it wasn't the basic, like, yeah, the time off could have, I think it may have hurt us. Because, look, the Astros do this, it seems like every year. They get a bye or whatever, and then they're in the NL or the ALCS for the 7th year in a row.
That's what I loved when Strider said that. I was like, thank you. Like, someone that didn't say like, oh, like we had extra days off. Like, that's why we lost. Like, no, shut up. Like, you didn't play good. Like, straight up.
Hang on. I saw a hypothetical. It's like, if you finish first and you have a choice, instead of getting the automatic bye, hey, your team, Dakota, you guys came in first. What would you want? Did you want the bye or do you want to play a game?
Give me the bye. If you say anything other than the bye, you're an idiot.
You're wrong, because you're not going to say that.
Yeah.
So it's
like, oh, would you rather have, like, I get it. Like, you got 5 days off. Like, the Braves tried a new way. Like, they said they were doing the crowd in the stadium for like live BPs or live simulated games, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it's such a bad excuse to me. Like, I don't get it. I don't get why that'd make you worse, or like how that makes you play bad. Because like your pitchers, like, if anything, pitchers are dying by that point for extra days off. They're like, please give us a couple extra days. Nobody feels good. Chop, chill out.
Chop.
Got the dog running everywhere. What was your question, Ian? Sorry.
Yeah.
Did any players come out and say the break was bad for us?
I don't think
not like straight up. I don't think anyone straight up was like, oh, it's because we had the break. But I've seen so many like tweets and articles of like, MLB needs to fix its format. I'm like, well, I wonder if you're a fan of any of the teams that just got beat after having a bye. You know what I mean?
I heard a lot of talk. I heard a lot of chatter on the interwebs, but I didn't see any players say, hey, this off time hurt us. And I think Snit had a good quote after. It was like, look at the Astros. Like, they're fine.
I love that. Like the Braves, it's 2 years in a row, right? Same thing last year. Like they won the division or got the bye and then lost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, exactly. Like, look at the Astros. They went out there, took care of business. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it shouldn't affect you that much.
Didn't they also
use that? And like you said, I don't think any players or managers were straight up like, oh, like we got screwed because we had a bye. Like no one's gonna say that.
Right. We're like, what are you gonna do? Start losing towards the end of the hey guys, we're one game away from not getting this bye.
Yeah. There is something to be said. This is the only thing I'll give. There is something to be said about, like, we talk about all the time, like getting hot at the right time. The Phillies got hot at the right time, and then you just continue to play. Like the worst thing for the Phillies, if they would have got hot at, like when they did towards the end of the year and then had 5 days off. Like I believe in that. Like if you're catching fire later in the year and then you just go sit for a week, that will cool you down, but that's still not an excuse for going out and losing a series.
I also think like getting a chance to reset your pitching is a huge advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Like your number one's going to be throwing on plenty of rest. Your two's ready to go on plenty of rest. Your bullpen is rested. Like all of that stuff's a big advantage. I don't think you'll see players coming out and saying the format's messed up. And also, how do you fix the format? I mean, I think everybody agrees that a 3-game series in the wild card is the better way to do it. Makes more sense. The 1-game wild card was a coin flip, especially in baseball.
Oh yeah.
And then like those teams are going to have, like, that's your reward for winning the division. Do you want your reward for winning the division to be, you have to go play like right away? Like that doesn't seem, I don't know. I get that the Dodgers won 100 games, right? We had 200 win teams take a little break there and then get swept. Like that stinks. And you'd like to see those, especially the O's, such a good story. You'd like to see them keep going. But like, I think there's also something to be said for teams that are built for the playoffs. Like the Dodgers, unfortunately, had a bunch of injuries, especially pitching wise. And so their starting pitching wasn't what it has been because Bueller's down and guys are down. And then you have the Orioles. They're a young team.
Mm-hmm.
They're a young
Never
team.
done it before.
Yeah, they haven't done it before. And
A
they're
lot of
playing
those
the
guys.
Rangers.
Yeah.
They're playing the Rangers who were built for it. Their bullpen guys were dudes who had a ton of experience. Their starting pitching is nasty. And their offense bangs. Like they were playing the Rangers. It's not like they were playing the last place team in the American League.
and
Like
the
the Rangers were a
winning
really
their
good
division.
team.
They were winning their division the whole year pretty much.
And
they just barely didn't.
They're all older with experienced guys, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And
Seager's been there, done that. Yeah.
Right. Like there's no moral victories, but like if you're the Orioles, hey guys, like we can learn a lot from this series that we just played. Like we're only going to get better moving forward. We're only going to get a little bit older with experience. Like they're going to add people this offseason. Like that team's going to be fucking nasty.
You'd still take that. You'd take that over just missing the playoffs any day of the week, obviously.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like the experience of like, hey, you see how the city got behind you. Like you see how cool that was to like play in the playoffs. Like even though they didn't win a game, like they still wouldn't trade that for anything. You know what I mean?
And if you look at how the D-backs are built, and like we saw it at the end of the year there when we played them a bunch, like that bullpen is built to throw in the playoffs. Like the bullpen's deep. They got a lot of nasty arms. They have 2 really good starters who are going to get through, 6-7 innings. And then when they have that one game where they go bullpen, like that bullpen's deep, man. Like,
and that's
a bunch of dudes.
How do you say his name? Fat? Is it literally just Fat?
Yeah.
I think he went like 4 1/3 shutty game 3.
Yeah,
like that's exactly. And it's like, hey man, we only need, it's like he goes out there and I bet they're like, hey, we need 3. You give us 3 and we're pumped. Yeah. So him going 4 1/3 is like, wow, we're golden.
They have Castro throwing in like the 5th or the 6th. Guy throws 100 miles an hour sidearm. Like they just have a bunch of dudes. And so I don't know that I don't like that argument. And if someone doesn't like the format, like give me a format that works then, because fans want to see more playoff baseball, and like the 1-game wild card wasn't perfect. And I think this is a much better format. Tom.
I was going to ask you, because I know you were involved in some of the negotiations on some of this stuff. I don't know if you were involved in this stuff, but the one thing I've always thought that's weird is baseball is such a random sport, especially when you get to the playoffs. You have the 162 game regular season, and it's the only sport, at least out of the 4 major North American ones, that has best of 5 series still. Was there any discussion about moving the DS to best of sevens? Because even that, I feel like might help with a little less randomness, and the best team prevailing generally happens more in best of sevens. Now you're still going to get upsets abound and you're still going to have random results, but I don't know. I think I would like to see best of seven in the divisional round.
Not a lot of discussion. I think you run into all the other sports are played that play series are played inside and they don't have to deal with weather. And you're running into playing baseball games into early November in a city like Philadelphia or Chicago, or most of these are warm weather teams that are still in, but like Minnesota and Philly end up in the World Series and you're playing games on November 7th. Like, what does that look like, Tom?
I think if you went to 7 for the DS, you'd almost have to knock off, like, you have to go to like 150 game schedule and start the playoffs a little sooner. Wouldn't you agree? Just to try to, like you said, get the season done a little earlier.
Yeah, I think that's
honestly
that's what they'd have to do. They have to go to 150 or 154 and then
154 is a historic number, though. They've been at 154 before, so you could go back to that with the precedent for that.
Damn, that would honestly, I feel like that may be like a topic of discussion.
But then it's like, what do you do? Do you redistribute playoff money to make the owners full so salaries don't go down? Because like when you lose 8 regular season games, that's 8 gates, that's 8 TV games, and then you have to you have to figure out how to make everybody whole. Does that get paid out of playoff money that makes everybody whole? Because there's only so many teams that make it into the playoffs, and the rest of the teams are done 8 games early. So that's the conversation. But
there's a lot of things that go into it for sure.
Yeah, I think let's let this. The other hard thing about this is you don't just run the playoff format over and over. Like, we get this once a year, and then when something like this happens, it's like, it's broken. But like, if we run this for 5 years, like if this keeps happening, like if we keep seeing 100-win teams eliminated right away, like maybe it's something that we reconsider. But
Zach, can I give you a stat on the Astros? I saw this tweet. I marked it down because when the Astros were playing the Twins, Zack was surprised. Not surprised, but he said, like, I'm surprised. Well, surprised. Good word. He said he was surprised Presley is the closer for the Astros and not who's their 8th inning guy that you Abreu. And I have a stat for you that says this is probably why. Ryan Presley ranks 5th among relievers in the wild card era with 36 scoreless appearances in the postseason, only behind Mariano, 85, by far the most. Kenley Jansen, Jeff Nelson, and Ryan Madsen. Kind of crazy because I feel like he's in the playoffs a lot, obviously, but like that's crazy. Like 36 scoreless appearances, 100%
crazy.
He's
how about Brian Abreu not giving up a run since the middle of July?
It's also crazy. But
Presley's also like top 5 all time in saves.
Dude, so crazy. I don't know why his name, like,
I think because he doesn't throw 100. That it's like,
but he's still throwing 96.
Oh, I know, but you know what I mean. Like, you see, as an Abreu, he throws fuego.
Oh yeah. I mean,
but Ryan Presley is not talked about in the conversation of the best closers in the game. Like, he isn't talked about. He's been overlooked for a long time, and he's been really, really good. And when it matters, when you need your closer to lock down the game, which is in the playoffs, like, he has done that, and he's been really, really good at it.
It's also very underestimated, the difference. And I'm not saying Abreu couldn't throw in the 9th, but like the difference between throwing in the 8th inning and throwing in the 9th 100%. Inning is so different. Like, it is, as a reliever, I know it is crazy, the difference, because like in the 9th, the 8th, it's the same thing. Like, if you're up 1 run, you're still up 1 run. You can't give up a run. But in the 9th, there's just something about like, this is it. Like, you have to get the job done. You know what I mean? And that just makes it that much more pressure and that much more going on in your head when you're pitching.
I mean, since he's been with Houston, he was good when he was with the Twins, but since he's been with Houston, when he got traded over, he threw in 26 games with a .77. Is that good?
It's pretty good.
In full seasons, he has a 2.3, 3.4, 2.25, 2.98, and then this year he had a 3.58. I mean, he's been really, really good for them. And the fact that, they they know he's their guy and they just run him out there to close baseball games. Like, there's a level of comfort there.
I know this is poor podcasting because it's going on live, but are either of you watching the Astros game right now?
Big game, Nate.
It went base hit, bottom 5, Rangers up 5-2. It was base hit, error. Evaldi went punchy. Now Bregman's up with bases loaded, 2 outs. Punchy is so. Oh, and he got a rollover.
Yeah.
And he got out of it.
That's
electric.
Punchy with Altuve mixed in there too. And Bregman.
It was almost. Did you see the strikeout to Altuve? Did you see the pitch, or were you just following it? It was kind of not a very good splitter because Altuve swung underneath it. It was kind of like a hanging splitter, and he thought it was going to go down more.
It's like backup slider, best pitch in baseball.
Best pitch in baseball.
Like if you pick it up,
like I wish people actually understood that a legitimate, like top of the zone, like backup off speed pitch
slide,
is like an unbelievable pitch.
As long as it's top of zone, obviously middle,
right? Yes,
still get damage, but
100%, right?
Because hitters, you see the spin and you're like, oh, I know where this is going, and it just
stays
literally like, what?
It just rises.
You're like, it's not supposed to do that.
It does. It rises. It goes. It does this.
It rises. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, righties throw to me up and away by accident, and I swing under it, and I get so pissed.
That's how. Yeah.
You're like, you didn't even try to do
see it
that.
In that tunnel. You're like, oh hell, this is a fucking hanger.
I'm gonna get us back on the rails. We're gonna back on the rails. How many? Tom liked it. How many times in that situation when your starter's in the 5th inning and he loads the bases with nobody out is in this day and age of baseball is the manager going, get that guy the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I need someone else to come in this game. And you know what Bruce Bochy said? Absolutely not. That's my guy.
That's big game, Nate. Right.
That's what I was going to say. I agree 100%. Depending who you like, if that's Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, like, hey, you're going to have to pull him off this mound. Like Evaldi's out there, and I think they took a mound visit after the second base hit, and he's probably like, don't fucking take me out of here. Like, I'm going to get 3 outs. Like, they're not going to score. You know what I mean? And you got to like ride with your guy.
100%.
I think a lot of the teams that are still in it, like that's, I mean, the D-backs are doing that with their top 2 guys.
You have to in the postseason.
The Phillies are doing that with Wheeler and Nola. Like those guys are going out. You're throwing 6-7 innings. Go out there and you're throwing 6-7. Unless they're getting absolutely shelled in the first couple innings, like they're out there.
And especially in a 7-game series like the CS, you need your guys, like you said, Wheeler and Nola, like even Ranger Suarez. Like you got to go like 5. Like we can't go to the pen in the 3rd inning and screw us for the next 3. Like guys are going to throw every day out of the bullpen. Like Jose Alvarado will probably throw all 7 games for the Phillies if it goes 7 games. I think he threw in every game of the DS, but like you don't want to have to do that if you don't need to.
It is a crazy thing about being a reliever that you throw, you know, however many innings you throw, 60 innings in the regular season. Like Press this year through 65 innings, right? Like that's normal amount of innings for a high leverage reliever is probably 55 to 70 innings at the high end.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the playoffs.
He's going to throw 20 more.
That's a lot of baseball. And then you get to the playoffs and they say, okay, now we need you to throw every single day.
Exactly.
Like, every day.
There's a lot of Toradol going around that locker room.
Oh, you need it. Can we talk about the Braves?
Would you like to comment on that anymore, Dakota, as a pitcher?
I mean, I think adrenaline takes you through most of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like when it's the postseason, like, and you're a guy, like I bet Alvarado, Presley, I bet those guys are going to their manager and saying, I'll throw 3 innings today and 3 tomorrow, if that's what you want. Brandon Morrow did it in the World Series through all 7 games.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable.
It's what you do. And you're like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I would rather be out there competing and they believe they can get 3 outs. Like, it's not like, let's see what I can give you today, Skip. It's like, no, like I'm getting 3 fucking outs and we're winning the game.
Evaldi in that 18 World Series, I believe, through game 1, game 2, and then came out the bullpen and threw 6 innings in that 18 inning game, then game 3. So he had thrown in 3 straight games and then threw 6 innings.
Yeah.
So as you said, adrenaline can make you do crazy things.
Especially once you're out there, like at least for me personally, there are days like you're warming up in the pen and you're like, oh, arm is not feeling good today, or like my back hurts or this hurts. But like you get out to the game mound and it's like, all right, we're fine. Like the adrenaline kicks in, we're fine. We're going to be okay. And especially in these stadiums with the crowds and it's the postseason, you're good to go.
You know what else helps you get through those games?
Bruce Bolt, ERC.
A good off-season training program. Okay. And you know what you can wear as you start your off-season training program? You can wear Bruce Bolt shorts. Okay. Bruce Bolt, family-owned business in Austin, Texas. They have the shorts that you need, 5 inches or 7-inch inseam, whatever length you're comfortable with. Dakota likes the 5-inch.
5ers for me.
Show off a little bit of leg. Bunch of different colors, black, gray. Are my personal favorites. They got all kinds of colors. If you want to match your team colors, they are the highest quality. They have 4-stretch material, perfect for the gym, BP, wear them to school, whatever you want to do. BruceBolt.us.
Can we talk Braves Phillies now?
Please.
I would like.
Do you want to touch on? Do you want to? Okay, Braves Phillies. Go Braves Phillies.
I wanted to start with the Arcia Bryce Harper situation.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Bryce Harper gets doubled off on the deep fly out from Castellanos in the 9th. Doubled off at first. After the game, I guess Arcia's in the clubhouse saying like, "Ha ha, attaboy Harper, ha ha." In the clubhouse, mind you, Harper the next game proceeds to hit 2 homers. Shocker. Stares him down, rounding second. Electric. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely electric. My thoughts on it, though. I do agree with Arcia. It was in the clubhouse. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he was spouting to the media in an interview. I knew Tom would disagree. I know, because that's what I've been seeing is people being like, well, the media has a job to do too. No, it's the clubhouse after a postseason game. I think the clubhouse is a sacred place where stuff like that shouldn't be able to be reported. That's my take. Thoughts?
I'm going to go next. And I'm going to say, we love Cespedes barbecue, also known as backyard barbecue.
Yeah. And exactly. And like I said, sorry to interject. I do get they have a job to do. Correct.
Yep.
Continue.
And we love Jake. And I just want to put that out there first, because I know he caught a lot of heat for this. And personally, really like him. He is really good at what he does. And I know that it was a tough couple of days. I do, Dakota, agree that, and I don't know the sequence of events and like how fast the media was in the clubhouse, because usually you would have some time before the media gets in there. So I'm a little unsure of like when this happened. It feels like this is something coming off the field, but like maybe this was a half hour after the game and he was still, going on about it. But as a player, you don't really feel like you're on the record until you're talking to a reporter, until you're at your locker and there's reporters there and you're making a statement into a microphone or a camera. So you don't really feel like you're on the record. I understand that, especially in this day and age of media, people want to get stuff out there. And obviously that clip hit and was a big, there was a big story. But as a player, you don't want something that's overheard or something that's been said to just be out there.
And that was more my point of, if he's in an interview or like the guy in the locker next to him is in an interview, like reporters are there, cameras are on him and he's yelling it, that's on him. Like that's on Arcia. Like if you see them in there, like talking to guys, then what are you doing? But if he's just, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, if you're just walking around the clubhouse after a big win and the boys are fired up and like, that's probably something any locker room would say, like joking around, like, oh, that boy Harper, like, like you're joking around. Like he didn't mean it as like, oh, what an idiot. Like he lost him the whole game. Like I, by no means did Arcia want that to get out there and then have what happened happen.
Ian, you would know better, but like in the playoffs or in the regular season, the media come in like 20 minutes after the game, right? Like, they'll go to the manager, he does his thing, and then they come to you. Like, temper's kind of cool by then for the most part, right? Like, after the game, like, if you win a big game, you're like, yeah, fuck them. Like, whatever. And again, like we weren't there, we don't know the situation, but I am so torn in between both sides of it, because again, like I personally, like and whenever I do see the media in there, like it's kind of just like a third sense, like, oh okay, like, hey, media's there, you're not saying anything anyway, but like, hey, beware, like there's also been stories of like reporters around, like whoever, like will walk by you with like their recorder or their phone, like recording. Like, so again, like I would rather take the safe route. Like I don't say anything in general, but like at the same time, I totally see where the Braves are coming from, where it's like, bro, or whoever, like, hey, it's kind of our locker room. But at the same time, like if they're in there, like
you got to be aware.
Yeah,
sure.
like
that's
I
what
know, like
we don't know the full. That's what I wish I knew, like exactly what happened. Like you said, if it's 30 minutes after the game and you see media everywhere, then what are you doing? But if it's like coming off the field, you know what I mean? Like you said, Zach, like how many times like do you win a big game? You're like, oh, fuck those guys. Like not literally like, oh, we hate them, but just like, it's just the heat of the moment. Like you're fired up about winning. Like I feel like I don't know what it was.
What I would say first is my first job in baseball was for Joe Assanio, who played for the Yankees. When I worked in the minors, he taught me one of the first things was
Kingston, New York, right there.
Kingston, New York.
Kingston, New York.
Yes. One of the things that he taught me and he instilled in me was that the clubhouse is, you're always a guest in the clubhouse. When you're someone in my role, that the clubhouse is a sacred space. So I do understand what you guys are talking about. And I do respect that when people enter that space, that is not their space. And I do think that's an important thing to note at the top of this. Having said that, as a broadcaster, someone who worked, one of the things they teach you right away is that you treat every mic like it's hot. And this is a same situation where, in my impression of it is, and I could be wrong, but I believe from what I've read that there was some period of time after the game. This was not immediately after the game. This was 10, 15, I think like 20 minutes after the game. That's my impression again, but I'm not 100% sure of that. But there are so many places, and Ian and Zack can attest to this, in a major league clubhouse. If you do not want to be near the media, there are so many places that you can go where they don't have access to. And so if you're going to say those things in a public space in front of the media, what is someone like Jake Mintz supposed to do? That's a reportable action. He's witnessing it happen in front of him. That's obviously going to be a storyline. He's doing his job. And I thought it was soft. I thought it was really soft of the Braves to try to turn this into a storyline. This is a team that won the World Series 2 years ago. I understand the point about the clubhouse being sacred, and I do respect that. But if you're going to say that in front of the media, when you have so many opportunities to not say that in front of the media, that's on you. And I think the Braves needed to own that and go, hey, we poked the bear. The bear got us for 2 homers, and we just got to wash it and move on. And instead, I knew that series was over when Darno and those guys after game 3 were making that a story. And it's like, you guys, this isn't the story. You need to worry about game 4 where you're playing for your playoff lives and not Jake Mintz from, Cespedes Family Barbecue. That's not
right. He also wasn't the only one to report it, right?
Yeah.
Like, like I just don't like everybody attacking a reporter like that for like, I don't know. And I didn't like the other like colleagues around the league taking shots at him, calling him a podcaster. Like, it's like, bro, he's on the, what is it, the BB, like the Baseball Writers Association, like, bro, and he's been there for a little bit, and to call him a jack off like on national TV, like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And that's
again,
what I totally
I just didn't like. I think I could be a little biased because again, we were treated well by Jake. We've been treated well, but that's just kind of where I stand on it.
That's I am like Zach said, like I'm kind of in the middle. Like I agree with Tom. Like if media's in there, then what are you doing? Like why are you saying it out loud? Like loud enough where reporters hear you. Like you said, like there's plenty of places to go where you can make those comments and nothing happens, or you can do it when the reporters aren't in there and nothing happens. Like if you just get in off the field, like Reporters aren't standing by your locker as you're walking in with your bags. So yeah, I mean, they did poke the bear. Like he poked him
up. I mean,
and he said, "This is what you get."
Harper's postseason record's pretty impressive, and
he has like a 1,400 OPS like something stupid in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple postseasons with the Phillies, like the at-bats he puts together, the big homers he hits, like it's really impressive.
Anybody out there who in any sport who had gotten the media attention from when you were 16 years old, dropped out of high school, came #1 pick, and lived up to it the way that he has?
LeBron James.
Yeah, that's the only comparison.
Yeah, right. That's right. Of course.
But have you seen the David Beckham documentary? Beckham.
Well, did get the red card though against Argentina. I've been watching that documentary.
It's a pretty good documentary. It's getting me into soccer.
Really good.
Sorry, awesome. Back on the rails.
Yeah, I was like, Ian, that's on you.
That's my fault. I took us off
talking
the rails.
Soccer. Shocking.
I took us back off the rails. We're on the rails. We're on the rails.
Speaking of soccer, and Tom, you went on another rant about the USA soccer coach.
We got to get rid of Barry Walton, man. I can't. We can't go down this path because I need like 20 minutes to talk about it.
We can't. Not yet, Tom. Not yet.
Not yet.
We'll save it. We'll save it for the off season when there's nothing else, and we'll go. Trust me, I'm with you.
It's time for Tom's Soccer Corner, where we break down the United States men's soccer team. And today we're talking about Luca de la Torre and how he's one of the most underrated midfielders in the pool. No, I'm just kidding. It's time to talk about our friends at DraftKings. Baseball playoffs are underway, and things are heating up in the ballpark. With the DraftKings Sportsbook, you won't miss a minute of the baseball action. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on baseball. Plus, all customers can take a crack at the sweet payday with the DraftKings same-game parlays. String together multiple bets from a single game for your shot at a major payout. So what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code COMPOUND. New customers can score $200 instantly. It's bolded. That's how I know it's important. Instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on baseball. Only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with code COMPOUND. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort KS. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles, LA. 21 plus, ages vary by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/baseball for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. All right, I'll have to tell you guys about Cameron Carter-Vickers and why he's the best center back in the pool next time on Tom's Soccer Corner. Let's get you right back into Compound.
On the rails. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about with the Philly and Atlanta series? Philly's a really good baseball team.
Ian, I have a question. This was a topic of discussion between me, Zack, and Scott Efros. I would like you to pick a better hitter. That's it. Not position. A better hitter, Trey Turner and Nick Castellanos. Overall. Everything involved with hitting. On base, walks.
You're a sicko.
Everything is involved. It's not. If they throw
have to say that, you didn't have to say it.
If they throw a heater down the middle, who would I rather have? Maybe Castellanos. Like it's not
hitting involved because I made the
no. Don't preface it. No. Don't give away your answer. I want Ian's answer.
I mean, you just prefaced.
No, I want to hear Ian's take because this started by Zack saying that Castellanos may be the best hitter in the Phillies lineup.
It was more of me. It was,
and I said Bryce Harper is still alive.
At the time and place, like this guy is going bananas. Like right now, he is the best hitter, and I didn't backtrack on it. And I was like, all right, whatever, I don't care. And then
it wasn't really an argument; it was more of a discussion.
Right. It actually turned into appreciating Trey Turner more.
Yes, because then I started looking up stats and I was like,
right.
well, Trey's got him beat. Ian, your answer.
They've actually had relatively similar career paths as far as like starting their career. They were both good hitters, didn't walk a lot, and like progressed and are both dominant now. But Trey has had a better career.
I'm not asking you who has better stats. I'm asking you which one is a better hitter.
They're very similar. They're very similar profiles. They don't walk a ton. They hit for a high average, and they slug at a pretty good clip. I think Trey has been a better hitter. I think, Trey has been bananas hot in the last half of the season since standing ovation in Philly. But Nick shows up in the big moments too, man. Mm-hmm. He's got a slow heartbeat. Like he loves that. Well, I saw it for half a year, and I know Nick pretty well, but I saw it for half a year in Chicago, and man, he's got that slow heartbeat. He lives for those moments, and what he did in that DS is pretty.
The only thing Zack said that I didn't like, his one argument was that Trey Turner gets a lot of like infield singles and weak singles, and I said those count as hits.
He's right, fast.
Like those I know, are still.
And
hits.
I just thought Castellanos hits a zillion double. Like the one year he had 60 doubles. Like
for sure,
his homers are fucking sick. Like he's got thump.
There's no wrong answer. But
they're different. They're different hitters because Trey has like pull side thump, and then he'll hit like he'll shoot doubles and triples because he's so fast right center. Nick has he's got thump everywhere.
Yeah,
and he hit some pretty majestic homers and some sick right center homers.
Hit some high ones.
But also, this is a separate argument from this argument. But the ability for your miss to be a ball on the ground that you beat out, like that is an actual skill.
It's a tool, yeah.
It's a skill. Like when you're swing and you miss, and like your miss is like that swinging bunt, but you do it 10 times a year every year. It's not like this guy gets a bunch of infield singles and he's lucky, and the expected stats will always hate it. But like when that's your miss and you get 10 of them a year, like it's a skill that you have.
Dude, do you know like Javi? I remember watching him in Chicago. Like Javi used to have like the ass out roll over to short, but he was 3 steps out of the box before like his swing was done.
Yep.
And you'd look up and he runs a 3-8 to first, and you're just like, are you kidding? Like, or whatever to first, like, what the fuck?
But when you get 10 of them a year, like it's a legitimate skill. It's part of your game. It's in your tool bag. It's not in everybody's tool bag.
Right.
Last thing about Braves Phillies is, what do the Braves do now? Like what? They're not missing anything. You know what I mean? Like what? That's what I mean. Like it's not like, oh, like if we had one more reliever or one more start, like everyone could say that, but like they didn't have like a weakness. It's not they had a glaring hole.
Yeah, they were also a little bit beat up at the end there. Fried had the blister. Morton was out. Like they were a little bit beat up, but they'll run the same thing back. They'll probably do a little bit to the bullpen. They'll probably, try to find a couple dudes. Iglesias, I think, might be a free agent. Like they'll do some stuff to the bullpen. They have a couple guys who their deals are over, so I think left field might be a spot for them that they're looking to fill. But like they got
kind of hard.
Guys. They'll run it back.
Yeah, like what if you're do you blow it up? Like they just won 100 and however many games. They tied for the most homers since 2019 with the juice balls. Like, I mean, it's really hard to tear anything about that team except for just adding a piece here or there.
Yeah. And the Braves have historically been really good at running it back, like not being afraid.
They don't have a choice. They fucking locked everybody up for the next 27 years.
Yeah. So, but all those teams through the 90s, like that, they won the division when you play at that stadium and you look up at the light stands and you see all of the banners from all of the years that they won the NL East. It's ridiculous. I mean, they've won the NL East 7 in a row now, and like they won it for 12 straight before that. Like they haven't had a ton of World Series to show from it, but like, dude, and through all those years, they ran the same dudes back out there and they kept having really good seasons. And sometimes it's a matter of who's hot and like that things fall your way.
I think it's more of a question like, do you do anything if you're the Dodgers? Like this is another year of like getting there and then not winning. You know, like they won in 2020, right? I mean, it's obviously I don't want to say it has an asterisk next to it, but like it's not like, I mean, every year you look up, you're like, oh, Dodgers are going to be there. And then like something happens and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What happened?
I mean, it's like Ian said, their starting pitching got banged up and didn't really perform once the postseason started.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I expect them to actually make moves because that's what they do. And also this year they went back under the luxury tax so that they could do that. So
knowing the Dodgers, they'll go get like Juan Soto or something.
They're going to get Ohtani.
Yeah, I expect them
like knowing them, they'll just go get a stud.
Yeah, they'll get Ohtani or they'll do a trade and then like, but you know, they also have, you know, Bueller's coming back. What do they do with Kershaw? They got some other stuff, but like, they'll make some moves. Can we talk about what Jordan Montgomery did in game 1?
He shoved is what he did. Ex-Yankee.
Yankees said in 22 that he wasn't good enough for their postseason roster. Good decision.
That was a good call.
I faced him once with the Yankees, and then I faced him obviously with the Cardinals some, and he's got good stuff, man. Like,
dude, Ian, I texted you after we faced Montgomery, or later in the year you guys faced him. So I mean, I like facing lefties in general, and then like adding a sinker too, like it kind of plays into my swing. And I faced him, and I was like, there was just something about it, like wasn't comfortable. Felt like he was throwing from little league distance, and I was like, I kind of knew like what he was throwing, and I was just like, dude, I can't fucking barrel this guy. I can't even hit it forward. I'm just fouling him off. And throughout the year, somebody said, or I actually was listening to him. He gets traded, and Mekkes, who he worked with, I believe, in St. Louis for a little bit, right? And then he came over to the Rangers.
End of last year, yeah.
So, and he said when he got to the Rangers, they had some dialogue, and he was like, bro, your shit plays and your heater is fucking firm. And it's just like, he's such a big body. He hides a little bit. He has extension, and his ball fucking moves. And I think now, like, he has that conviction. He has that mentality. And I think, I mean, he's going to get paid.
He's going to get paid. He's interesting because he has a sinker, but sometimes he'll throw that sinker up in the zone and like you can't square it up. Then the sinker down and away is a good pitch. He's got changeup and he's got big curveball, but he also has the four seam late. He's a pretty and it's firm and he's big body and it's just a pretty interesting mix. And I think I was 0 for 6 against him, and then we faced him at home right before the deadline, or maybe at their place right before the deadline. I can't remember. And I had a backside single. I was so fired up. I think I'm 1 for 8 or 1 for 9 career. But I got that backside single and I was feeling sexy.
I mean, it's sick watching him, especially when out loud have been told like, yeah, I don't see a spot for this guy in the big spots, and then just to do it on the biggest stage is pretty cool.
I mean, everybody's always looking for a lefty starter. He's still pretty young. Like, he's going to get paid. Somebody's going to clip him for 3 to 5 years and give him a nice deal this offseason.
I don't know if you guys saw that Jeff Passan was quoting Yordan Alvarez last night. He struck out 3 times in the curveball, and they asked him what made Montgomery's curveball so hard to find. And he said, every time I thought it was a fastball, which is not, obviously, those two pitches usually don't overlay very well. But Montgomery's a guy that, with the dead ball, I believe they call it, that he's able to kind of really confuse hitters with a couple different pitches.
Yeah. I'm in love with Yordan Alvarez, too.
Who's that?
I said you are in love with Yordan Alvarez.
I mean, the guy is just such a fucking good hitter.
He's unbelievable.
Remember? I don't think Ian was there. Zach, you might have been hurt at the time too when we played them in Round Rock, and
I was there.
He would walk him. Dude. He'd lead off an inning, and we'd walk him. We'd say 4.
Bro,
We wouldn't face him in the third inning of the game.
Dude,
we
played him in high A.
He was supposed to be 19. They go, this guy's 19 or 20 years old. And I go, this guy's 20 years old? He's on the lead. He's hitting balls 500 feet the other way.
He was like noticeably the best hitter that we faced in that whole league.
This guy to the big leagues tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we did. We walked him. We intentionally walked him to the big leagues. They were like, all right, this guy can't play here anymore. So they're not going to pitch to him.
They're not going to face him. We got to get him out.
Got to get him to the big leagues. I mean, and since he's come up, he's been incredible.
So basically credit Marty Peavy for Yordan Alvarez's big league success.
You know what else I heard he's really into?
What?
ERC. Omega Accounting Solutions they're the best at getting you your employee retention credit, which is government tax incentive that helps small businesses get back up to $26,000 per employee for overpayment of payroll taxes during the pandemic. If you were a business owner with 5 to 500 W-2 employees who continue to pay taxes and employ staff during the pandemic, you could be eligible for that $26,000 per employee. Don't miss out on your small business tax credit, even if you had a PPP loan. Call 800-643-CUBS or visit smallbizcashback.com/Cubs for a free consultation today. Scherzer's back. Scherzer's going to throw game 3, right?
And John Gray.
And John Gray's back. Is he throwing out the pen for them?
I am not sure.
Not sure.
Who started the first game? Oh, yeah.
Montgomery. We
just talked about it.
Clean it up.
Clean it up, Dakota. It's got to be Scherzer, and then
Scherzer's game 3. Yeah.
I feel like teams go 3-man rotation most of the time in the playoffs now, don't they? Like I feel like it's less likely that teams go 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
When was he hurt, or when did he get hurt?
Scherzer?
No, Gray.
I don't know. I didn't even know he was hurt.
You would have to think that he's going to come out of the pen, right?
Yeah.
Just the way his stuff plays, I would think he's going to come out of the pen. They have like 7 starters.
Yeah, remember they made those trades and they were showing like their rotation. It was like 7 guys, and it's like, well, they can't all start.
John Gray went on the IL on September 15th September 25th after a start against the Angels.
So like
that's
2
not
weeks.
too long, but
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll just depend on if they want to go 4-man or not.
Yeah.
There's one off day.
I feel like it depends how the series goes most of the time.
Is it 1-2 off day 3? And then 3, 4, 5?
Yeah.
Tom?
Yeah.
Do you have the schedule there?
I don't have the schedule in front of me. I can get it.
It's got to be, right? 1-2 off, 3, 4, 5 off, 6,
1,
7.
2 off, 3, 4.
Is it 3, 4 off?
5. 3, 4, 5 all in a row.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So they might have to go 4.
Yeah, I don't know if you could go 3-man rotation.
I think if you're up 3-0 in the series, like if they win today and then Scherzer wins tomorrow,
2 days.
Do you just say, here's the 4th starter, and then we'll make sure that Montgomery's rested?
Yeah, because it's not like you're throwing out, Joe Schmo. Like you're throwing a guy that can still win you a ball game.
Yeah. But if it's 2-1,
then you're like, well, do we want to try and
want to go to
take
2-2.
our luck going back to Houston?
Yeah.
I think John Gray will start game 4.
I think so too. I'd be surprised to try to go Montgomery on 3 days rest, and then you'd have to go to Evaldi on 3 days rest. 3 days rest. So it would get too tight with those guys. And even if you start a 4-starter and you throw Gray game 4, you still have Montgomery 5, Evaldi 6, Scherzer 7. So you still have your guys throwing twice a series.
You know what's nice for them too is they can piggyback with one of the 17 starters they have in the bullpen.
Yeah, exactly. You could go Gray for 3 and then Martin Perez for 3.
Our predictions are looking pretty good.
Me and Tom at the Braves.
I know. I should have taken the Phillies.
The thing was, I was sitting there watching game 4, and I'm like, and it doesn't really matter, but I was like, I don't even want the Braves to win. Why did I pick the Braves? I was like, I'm not even rooting for them. I'm rooting for the Phillies.
Same. I felt the same way, Dakota. We should have just both listened to our gut and picked the Phillies.
But they both said Phillies, and I was like, well, we can't have 4 people say Phillies. So like we had to pick someone else, and none of us believed in the Snakes.
Zach, did you say Astros?
I said Phillies, Astros, yeah.
And I said Philly, Texas. So I'm looking the best.
I don't think you said Philly, Texas. Me and Tom said, oh, you did? And me and Tom said Rangers, Braves.
I said Philly. I said Philly and Texas. And then I said Philly winning the World Series.
I said Braves or Rangers winning it all. So I am still alive in that sense. Because I said Max Scherzer would throw Game 7 and they would win.
Is there anything else on the postseason you guys want to touch on?
Yeah, nothing.
I kind of miss the Braves Phillies series.
You should run that back.
Not that I'm not excited for Diamondbacks Phillies, but that was such a fun series.
Let's play 7.
No, give me some more games of that.
Zach, would you like to talk about the Jets for a minute while Tom plugs his ears?
Hey, what a win yesterday. They got to find a way to get into the end zone instead of kicking field goals, but if they can clean that up. I mean, they were down to basically they had got like a 6-string quarterback or cornerback come up, 2 of them, like practice squad and then like 5th and 6th stringers. And to hold the Eagles to 14 points and 0 in the second half was insane.
Whatever Aaron Rodgers is taking, we need to get on that too.
Bro, there's a report. Did you see that? What I sent?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Are you fucking shitting me? There's no way, right?
They'd be available by week 12. The guy tore his Achilles week 1. They said in 3 months he might be back.
Well, but like Achilles.
Just the video of him throwing was crazy.
Dude, you know how much he is eating that shit up right now too.
Oh, he's like, I told you guys this alternate or whatever medicine works.
People are saying, like, there's just like the doctors are like, bro, there's no way that shit was fully torn, like you guys said, if he's doing this right now. It was like 34 days ago. He fully tore his Achilles.
Like, you're not even supposed to be walking yet. You're supposed to be like on crutches.
He went to the game yesterday, and in the tunnel, he got brought to the locker room by a cart, and he gets out, no boot, no crutches, and reporters are like tweeting like, is this real?
Like, what's happening?
Yeah. Our Lions 5-1.
I was gonna say Zach's kind of got 2 teams. He's got to stay with his one pride. He's a Detroit guy.
I mean, yeah, you saw me at camp.
Ian, I was gonna say, Ian, you've got like 4 teams. You can make a 5th team be Lions. You're welcome aboard. They're a good football team.
Grayson did 5-1 for him. I'm in.
There you go.
Bears look pretty good.
Join us. Bears have the 1st and 2nd pick currently. That's a plus.
That's fucking
because they have the Panthers pick who are 0-6. So they could go Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. and instantly be back.
And then just throw it 74 times a game.
Have Marvin Harrison and DJ Moore with Caleb Williams. Thanks.
Real quick, after watching the USC Notre Dame game, we're getting Caleb Williams question marks?
No. One of my buddies texted that. He goes, I could be a prisoner of the moment, but I haven't watched much Caleb Williams, and he's supposed to be that good after this game. And I'm like, shut up. It's 1 game. He is legit.
But the thing with him is like his pockets again are just like a lot of his plays are off script, right?
Yeah.
That are just like, holy fuck. But
I think their O-line stinks.
Like, does that play in the NFL? Yeah. Does that play in the NFL?
The O-line's a lot better.
Ask yourself that question.
They said that if he was in the same draft as Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow, he would go in front of both of them. They said he is like the best prospect, like NFL analysts. I don't know. GMs have said that. Actually, I saw that. He's like the best prospect in like 20 years to go to the NFL. Like, teams. Didn't they
say that about Trevor Lawrence too? Like, oh, it's the
he was.
Luck. Like,
he is. He's good. Trevor Lawrence is good.
No, he's really good.
I've always said try to find your quarterback. They didn't say it
about Zach Wilson.
Try to find your quarterback in the late first, or maybe in the.
They said he has Patrick Mahomes in him.
Where did Brady go in the 6th?
7th round or 6th round. I don't know. I forget where he went to college.
I find your quarterback there. That's what I've said.
Ooh, Michigan State this weekend under the lights, and I'm in the crowd. Last time I was in the crowd for Michigan State, you betcha.
You ended up at a great party.
Let's not go there. Let's not talk about
coach?
That. He's no longer the head coach. He's since been fired. So let's move on from that. But
coach.
big game. Big game.
Big game. Big game. Should be a fun week of baseball for everybody to watch.
Hope you enjoyed our football talk.
Yeah, I'm going to the F1 race this weekend. I'm excited about that.
Can't hide it. Can't hide it.
Hide
I'll
it.
be hanging out in the McLaren garage with all my McLaren friends. Me and Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri high-fiving after they dominate. It's going to be fun.
The definition of can't hide it.
You know.
It's all right.
I'm going to have such a good screen time today.
Really quick,
I
just want to.
Because I was just on Twitter looking at Jets.
We're doing yesterday's screen time. Everybody knows the rules.
No shot. We're doing Sunday screen time.
Full 24.
There's no shot.
I want to see your Sundays. I want to see your Sundays.
No, there's no way we're doing Sunday.
Yes. The people wanted to see your Sundays.
No.
They told me. The people told me.
Why did my score? Why did my screen time not show up today?
I also would like to say, I think the Connor Bedard debut game was the highest viewed hockey game in a long time. Shout out Blackhawks. Shout out Connor Bedard. Shout out Chicago. I'm excited. I'm going to definitely go to a game when I go back to Chicago. So I'm excited about that. I'm a hockey guy. I'm actually a soccer guy now because of the Beckham documentary, and I'm a hockey guy and I'm an F1 guy. So not a big deal.
We're doing Monday.
Yesterday's screen time.
No, we're doing Monday.
What day are we doing?
We're doing Monday. Mine is such a discrepancy in days that
I want to hear
that big. I'll give you both times. I'll give you both times. But which one am I sending in? We're sending in today's.
I can't see. I got a new phone. Oh no.
Hide it. Which day, Ian? Yesterday or today?
Today. I got a new phone.
I vote today. Mine's really bad yesterday.
Make me say mine from yesterday.
Let's just say mine's double digits yesterday.
Do yesterday.
Mine's double digits yesterday. That's all you need to know. I'll give you both, but which one do you want me to send in for Twitter?
We're sending in Sunday screen time, please.
Can you please introduce slow screen time? It's really
this is fucked. This is
sorry.
bullshit.
I'm grinding over here because I can't find my screen time. I'm getting upset.
This is so bad.
Sloan is the world's leading manufacturer of commercial plumbing systems. The company is at the forefront of the green building movement. Provide smart, sustainable, and hygienic restroom solutions by manufacturing water-efficient products, including flush-o-meters, faucets, sink systems, soap dispensers, and fixtures for commercial, industrial, and institutional markets worldwide. To learn more, visit sloan.com. This is your Sloan screen time. Dakota.
2:34.
What was
that
yesterday?
Today? Today was 2:34. Today was 2:34. It's a great day. That's all you need to know. What a day from the kid. Yesterday, may or may not have been Thursday.
What was
it? May or may not have been 11:36.
Oh my God.
On NFL Sundays, all I do is update the score app to follow my fantasy players. That's all I do is look at my phone.
That's what I did yesterday after the Jets game. I was just on Twitter the whole time looking up everything.
That's all I do on Sundays.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the bars, it's like a consistent 45 minutes of every hour is spent on my phone.
That is hilarious. Zack?
It's real bad.
Mine on NFL Sunday. Everybody out there.
Tom still got me.
8 hours and 8 minutes.
That's like what I'd expect from an NFL Sunday. Like I feel like mine was a little high yesterday for what I would have liked. But yeah,
but Dakota, what you can do is you can say there was a 9:30 game.
Oh, if you think I didn't set a 9:20 alarm to wake up for that game,
exactly,
you're insane.
Yep.
I watched football from 9:30 in the morning until 11:30 at night when the Giants Bills game ended,
and they got fucked.
Yeah, they did. Tom,
I found my screen time. 4 hours and 42 minutes.
Yeah, but you don't watch football.
Yeah, you were probably at like brunch, and then you went like dress shopping and got your tux, and gross.
That's Sloan screen time presented.
No, Tom didn't say his. Whoa.
Oh, Tom.
Oh no, it's all right. I think it's Sloan. That's Sloan screen time.
I got the text. I helped you out, Tom, and went higher than you. You're welcome.
11 hours, 1 minute.
See, now I look like the bad guy.
Dakota, that's a bad loss. I want you to know it's a bad losing
I know,
to 11
Ian.
hours.
That's
in
why
1
I
minute
tried
is
to
a
do
bad
today's.
loss.
I only had 2.5 hours today. I did great.
What time did you wake up? From the time you woke up, you were on your phone. There's not a minute that you weren't on your phone.
Correct. Yes. I am telling you, yes, that is correct. Well, it also has an hour from the night before.
Yes, yeah, I don't like that.
That's the other thing. Like, if I'm up till 1, that's because I'm on my phone the entire time. Or however long I'm up at night, like, I'm on my phone. It is what it is.
In Australia. I got nothing going on. Liz is in Australia. Yeah. I had no choice. We was locked in on football. Didn't think we were going to be doing Sunday screen time.
No!
I love Sloan's Sunday screen time. I want Sloan's Sunday screen time every week.
I'm going to start just watching it on my iPad then.
It's no fun for the fans. We're having a tough time behind the dish here, huh? That's episode 180 of the Compound Podcast.
Trying to get fined?
Go out, get your Parse, go to Vegas, go to your liquor store, get some Parse. We'll see you next week.